Hi there, welcome to another game review here on the Silverbird Selection. This time I'm looking at a sports game as voted for by you guys in a previous video, and the game is On-Court Tennis. Originally released by Activision in 1984, then re-released in the Silver Range packaging probably about 1987 I would guess. As I said, originally by Activision, this is a very common game to get hold of. My copy cost me just £1. You can get it really cheaply if you want to give it a try. So without further ado, let's take a look at the game and see how it plays. Here we go then, here's the front cover, and as you can see, pretty straightforward stuff as you'd expect for a tennis game. There's not much you can really do with the front cover. It's got a big tennis ball that says On-Court Tennis in it, and it's got 3 tennis players on the front swinging their rackets. Spine says On-Court Tennis, fills the spine nicely. Back cover has got 2 screenshots, but if you look closely at these, they're absolutely identical. They're the same screenshot repeated twice over of the guy in the blue serving, and there's no score on the scoreboard or anything like that. So yeah, that's a bit lazy. And then the blurb for the game says simply, give yourself the advantage, buy this ace game. So a bit of tennis related punning there, but overall not particularly impressive. Inside we've got the usual list of games coming soon or also available. We've got the mail order page as always. So let's move on to the instructions themselves. On-Court Tennis, you can see here the copyright's GameStar Incorporated, so they must have developed the game for Activision rather than Activision themselves developing the game and then Activision published it. So the game, pretty simple as you'd expect. Recreate the excitement of the centre court and face opponents such as Ivan, or Ivan as I suspect it's supposed to be, Bjorn, Jimmy or John. Enjoy the thrills in a cracking 5-setter against the computer or pit your wits against your friends. And you've got the loading instructions and then fairly comprehensive gameplay instructions, so you can see all the different joystick controls for when you're serving, rallying and smashing, some keyboard functions for selecting various options, playing surfaces, and then a pretty good guide on how to play the game in terms of serving, rallying, smashing and scoring. So reasonably good instructions, but nothing really outstanding I would say. So here we can see the loading screen, which must have been done especially for this release of the game, because you can see quite clearly it says Firebird and Activision present On-Court Tennis. So I don't know if there's a loading screen of the original release of the game just by Activision, but it's been tweaked if that's the case to show Firebird's logo as well. No picture, but at least there's a loading screen of some description I suppose. So the game's loaded, and as you can see at the top there, although it doesn't stay on the screen for very long, it says the name of the game and who created it and the copyright, and then you get this screen of options, and there's several pages of options to go through. Obviously the rest of the screen is occupied by the tennis court, and you'll be seeing that throughout the rest of this video. So let's go through the options quickly. So you use the function keys to select your options. So you can play on grass, hard court or clay, but it doesn't matter which of the 3 you choose to play on, the surface always stays green. The only thing that changes is this border colour. So I'm going to play on clay because I found that slightly easier to play on than the other 2 surfaces. You then got the choice of 1 or 2 players and also a demo mode, which I'm not going to bother with obviously, so I'll stick with the 1 player. Then you go to the next menu and you can choose the 2 players, so the computer can be 1 of 4 players as can you, and it looks like you can play against the same character as well. Why you do that I don't know. So I'm going to go against Ivan, I'm going to stay as John, or I should say Ivan, because I'm assuming these names are based on John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, Ivan Lendl and Bjorn Borg. So yeah, I'm going to be John McEnroe versus Ivan Lendl. By the way, they all look exactly the same no matter which one you choose. So let's move on to the next menu, and it's just whether to play the best of 3, 5 or 1 set, and that's what I'm going to do, just the 1 set, because I don't want to play any more than that for the purposes of this video. And then it's just F7 to start the game. As you can see, the 2 players walk on. They've got interesting walking style, very far apart legs, especially when they walk towards the screen like that. Slightly terrifying actually. So I'm the character at the bottom, the player at the bottom in the yellow top, and my opponent Ivan is at the top there in the blue. And the main thing to be aware of with this game is that you don't actually control the movement of the player. you only control the shot, so the computer moves the player for you, which we'll see in a second. As you can see, I'm just lining up to serve, and it'll carry on doing that until I actually move the joystick to try and hit the ball. So it's all about choosing the right kind of shot. So when you're serving, you've got 4 different shots to choose from, depending on whether you push up, down, left or right on the joystick. It's basically the area of the court that you'll serve to. You can also hold the fire button down to play a faster shot or hit the ball harder, I suppose would be the best way to describe it. And then once you're in the game, you've got a variety of options for different kind of shots, like lobs, drop shots and all that kind of thing, which again are done by moving the joystick in a particular direction when the ball comes towards your racket. It's quite difficult, as you'll see in a minute, to time some of these shots very well, and as a result it's quite a difficult game to get any points or even win any games out of. So we'll see how it goes. So I'll start with a straightforward serve into the middle of the court, see how it goes. Even serving's tricky. There's a lot of double faults in this game, as you'll no doubt see as we go along. Okay, and straight away I've served a fault there. That went over the line. It was pretty close, I think, and the real John McEnroe would probably be disputing that, but there you go. So there's some quite nice animation on the characters, despite the legs being rather spread apart. I think overall the animation on the characters is pretty decent. Okay, so I got that one in, and I've been lobbed straight away, so I'll try and smash that back. There's a whole different set of shots for smashing as well, and they've hit that over and put it out. So I've actually got the first point of the game there, so I'm 15 love up. As you can see, the scoreboard at the top, which is the score for the current game on the right, and then the number of games and ultimately sets if you play up to 5 sets, is obviously on the left hand side along with the 2 player names. So far so good, but it probably won't carry on that way. Nope, missed that completely. Okay, and this happens a lot. A lot of the time you will hit the ball into the net, so now I've got to avoid trying to get a double fault. There we go, it went over this time, so that's good. I actually won the second shot as well, second point. As you can hear there's some applause that happens when you play a decent shot. The only other noises really are the swing of the racket, the ball either going in or the beep for going out, and that's about it really. There's not much in the way of sounds, and there's a little bit of music plays between games, which you'll hear in due course. Let's get on with playing the game a little bit more. Yeah, that one's gone out again. Hard to work out what the difference is between a shot going in and a shot staying out. There you go, I've managed to return that. Oh, that's gone a bit out to the side there, so that was out, and Ivan gets the point. Yeah, that's gone into the net again. There's obviously a sweet spot you're supposed to hit the ball with the racket, and I managed to do it again this time. There's a smash again, and I missed. So you do miss a lot as well, and it's not really clear. You're supposed to hit the ball or swing the racket, I should say, just as it bounces, just as the ball bounces, and that seems to work better sometimes than others. So I've missed that return there as well, so he's now 40-30 up, and you find this happening a lot, that you get a couple of shots early on, a couple of points, and then end up losing, and that's exactly what happened. I lost the set. So now he's serving, and hitting the ball back from his serves is even more difficult, but as you'll see, he served an ace there. He serves a lot of aces, and I've never managed to serve an ace in this game. But what you should see as we go along is that at least I managed to return that one, still went into the net. The computer actually gets even more double faults than the players you do as a player. No, I totally mistimed that. So this is looking like he's going to win this set easily. Sorry, this match, this point. No, I get it right eventually. This game easily. I said all the other possibilities other than what it actually was, which was a game. So I've got a point back there, and I managed another return, so we'll see what happens. But here, my guy just didn't even run across the court fast enough, and that's where it gets a little bit frustrating. He has won the second game as expected. it gets a bit frustrating that you can't move the player yourself, because you feel like if you could probably get across the court faster than the computer moves the player. So that's a little bit annoying, in my opinion. So here we go again with the third. Oh, I'd actually hit that out, so I did get the point. There we go, another point on the board. See if I can capitalise on this early success this time around. Yeah, he's hit one in the net, so I should win this game. I'm on game point and he's not got a single point yet, so we'll see how it goes. No, that's going in the net because I tried to hit a drop shot then and I wasn't close enough to the net. This is where things start to fall apart now. You suddenly... There we go, that should do it though with another drop shot. There we go. So I've won a game, so at least you've seen that, because there have been times where I've not won a single game. Oh, I wasn't ready for that at all. So basically what I'm going to do is carry on and just give you sort of edited highlights of this one set that I'm playing, and then I'll sum up the game at the end. Got a little rally going here. That doesn't happen that often and it's about to come to an end. Oh, he's actually hit that back. Oh, he's got that in though, that's annoying. I thought he was going to hit that down the line and I was going to win that point. That's going out though, so I'll leave that. So it's not been going too well so far. I'm now 4 games to 1 down in this set, and the last 2 games have not been great for me, to say the least. So we'll see how it goes from this point on. It's annoying hitting the top of the net there. I thought that was a reasonable hit back then as well. I'm not particularly sure how much difference the different kind of shots you can do really make. It does seem to have some variety. Certainly the drop shots and the lobs are obvious. The other 2 shots, the top spin and back spin type shots, not so obvious what the difference between those are. I'm getting quite a few returns in though. At least there's that. It's not... No, there we go. That's gone out though actually, so I win that point. One thing I haven't mentioned is the guy in the yellow, my guy, is quite terrifying looking. Oh dear, mistimed that smash. When he's looking at the screen like he is there with his yellow eyes, he's not a nice looking character at all. Didn't win that duel at the net there, so there goes another game, and this guy's now I'm serving to save the match and the set, and that's not a great start, is it? And nor is that. Could just end up double faulting my way to losing this match at the moment. Better. Missed the smash, so it's another point to him. Oh. Yeah, it's all moving predictably to a huge defeat for me, unfortunately. I'm not going to win any games with shots like that either. No, missed the smash again, and there you go. That is game over. I mean, you didn't see a lot of great tennis there, and to be honest, that's because the game is quite difficult, as I said. So at the end of the game, you guys, 2 guys, your competitor, just wander to the middle of the court and stand there doing a little sort of left to right dance, and this music plays in the background. As you can hear, the music's not particularly good. So I don't really see the point in playing through another game. I'm not going to be any better at it. The best I've done, I think, is lose something like 6-3. It's just a little bit too difficult. I think it takes a lot of time to go through the game and work out exactly which shots to play when, and when to actually make the connection with the racket to the ball. So I'm going to go through my review scores quickly then, and packaging I'm going to go with 6 out of 10. It's pretty average packaging. The cover image is not good. It got the same 2 screenshots twice on the back, and the instructions inside were pretty decent though, so 6 out of 10 for the packaging. Presentation I think is reasonable. It's not super impressive, but you do have a few game options, so that's pretty good, so 6 out of 10 also for the presentation. Graphics are a bit of their time, early 80s, so 1984, they're quite chunky, they're quite well animated, but also the characters do look a bit weird, so I'm going to go with 5 out of 10 for the graphics. Sound, well, you can hear this music's not up to much, and otherwise there's just a few in-game effects. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a tennis game, but I'm not impressed with the sound particularly, so I'm going to go with 4 out of 10 for the sound. And finally, playability. I've sort of been a bit indecisive about this. I think it's got the makings of quite a decent game, and I think if you really got into it and learned all the shots, it might get a bit higher rating than I'm going to give it, but the fact that you can't move the actual players around and there's loads of double faults served even by the computer means that the difficulty level's a little bit skewed towards the computer winning. It's quite hard to return some shots, and sometimes you don't know why. You seem to be swinging the racket at exactly the same time as the previous shot, and yet it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't even make connection. So with all that in mind, even though I have got better at it the more I've played, I'm not really that impressed with the playability. I'm going to give it 5 out of 10. So that gives it an overall score of 5.6. Fairly average game. I think there've been much better tennis games, and like a lot of sports games on these retro systems, there aren't many sports games that still hold up today, and obviously this has long since been surpassed by much better tennis games. So as for whether it would have been worth $1.99, well, to me I don't think so. I can't see myself having paid $1.99 for this back in the 80s, and I certainly wouldn't think it's good value now, obviously, from what I've said. So it's not an absolutely abysmal game. If you've got the patience you might get a bit better at it, but overall I've not been particularly impressed with it. So that's my feelings about on-court tennis. If you've got any feelings about it, then please let me know in the comments. Right then, as you should be used to by now, it's time for you to help me choose a game to play in a future review. So the theme this time is $2.99 Blobs or Slime. And I'm calling it that because both games originally cost £2.99, and one of them's got blobs in it, it's Hyper Blob, and the other one has got slime in it, which is Slime Is Mine. So $2.99 Blobs or Slime. The choice is yours. Let me know and vote in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the game as well while you're commenting, if you don't mind. And I'll be back soon with another game review. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.